Hey guys, how's it going? Can you believe what you just saw? I can't. And these trees are in our garden. 3 huge, beautiful trees. And I knew that, moving, digging up, moving and planting huge mature trees was a thing, but I'd never seen it done in real life. I had seen videos. I didn't really know about the process. So this has been so incredibly fun. So this one right here is a red maple. Aaron, how happy are you right now?
I love it. I'm so happy.
They just finished installing it, you guys, and they did extra cabling here. We did make sure to have our Hartley insured. It's on our insurance plan now. But they're fairly confident, like 100% confident in that. Well, I guess nobody can be 100% confident in their staking method.
Well, I think that he normally does 4 stakes for a tree like this, and he put 6.
Did he?
So, I mean, it's definitely above and beyond what he normally does. So that's good.
He
also said, like you might notice on this side of the tree, that was the side that was leaning on the truck.
Yeah, let me just, for you guys so you can see the whole thing, because most plants have a little bit of a natural back anyway, but this end right here, they had to do some trimming because when they dug it out and then had it laying up against the truck, some of the branches, I mean, the canopy still has to relax some. It's still kind of like, it will probably relax down to about here-ish. But, when they are sitting for a field and for quite a long time, that wood kind of hardens. So when it's up against a truck for, I don't know, how many miles is it?
Well, I think he also tried to dig it out on like Monday or Tuesday. So it may have been sitting on the truck for a couple days.
Because of all the rain we got.
Which he normally digs things up the night before, but we got a bunch of rain and he got stuck. So he had to wait for things to dry out before he could actually get it over here.
So anyway, this area right here, it's not a big deal. They will, eventually things will grow and fill back in. But I mean, this is right here was where the pine trees used to be. And so, we had this huge canopy right here, and this is kind of taking that spot.
Yeah, right. I think we also need one more tree right about where you're standing.
Yeah. Right here. So about right here-ish. And actually they had the truck backed up because we thought, well, maybe we should do just one more big tree.
He was being quite a salesman, actually. We almost did it.
Yeah.
He was like, I got the machine right here. Let's just dig a hole. It'll be super easy. We backed it in and we were going to do it. And then we just decided, you know what? We don't know exactly where the lines are going to be, like the walking paths for the Hartley. And we just decided, you know what? We'll just plant something smaller here. And if we want to get another big tree down the road from him, we can do that. But it's not something that you really want to rush into.
No.
You kind of want to think about it and make sure that you got the right spot picked out. Because it feels pretty permanent.
Well, hopefully.
That's such a big tree. How tall do you think that is?
Oh, 30? Don't you think? 30-ish feet right there?
Yeah, it's gotta be over 30 feet tall.
So this red maple will grow upwards of 60 feet tall. Sometimes they grow a little taller than that if they really like their space. Now, I expect this year it's going to struggle probably a little bit, don't you think? It'll probably struggle a little bit. We have to deep soak it 2 to 3 times a week. He kind of went through all of the instructions with us, and we know how to take care of smaller things that we plant, but we've never planted anything, of course, this big. So 2 to 3 times a week, fairly deep soaks. We're going to be doing a root stimulator every 2 weeks. He put in a whole bunch of mycorrhaceae, and we used an entire bag of biotone on this tree. So hopefully, with all of the extra pampering that goes, that we'll provide for it, hopefully it won't struggle too much this year. I think next year will be the telling year, see how it goes through the winter and that sort of thing. But the whole area around the Hartley is really coming together, and we were so excited to show you all of these trees kind of close up.
So for reference, I'm like 6'1". So
yeah.
How many of me can you stack on top of each other?
Oh, quite a number.
Yeah.
So do you think it's somewhere between 30 and 40 feet tall?
Probably.
Dang.
It's a tall tree.
It is. I do see one branch that we need to grab a pole pruner and either I don't know if it's broken or if we need to just kind of fluff it down. It's going to relax. In fact, Nathan, the owner of Malad Tree Farm, that's where these came from. He was like, just let the wind work on it a little bit and it will kind of relax down because it takes them a minute.
Think about our locust trees, how we are constantly pruning them every year.
Yeah.
The canopies keep getting lower and lower, and we're just constantly trimming all the stuff that's, hitting our head. I really think that after a year or two, the canopy is going to fill out and it's going to get heavy. And we may even need to trim some low branches as they kind of come down on us.
Yeah, and I know it looks kind of weird how it's planted, but we actually are putting a step down into this area. So we're working on the contour of this space, and we have a garden kind of thing planned for around this tree to marry it to this area. Holy moly, did that add a huge amount to this garden space. Like, I cannot even believe it. Oh, and then when we add another one right here, the thing is, we want to make sure that the trunk is over far enough for the next tree that we add in to where we can still see Hebe. I really love her placement. I love to be able to see the Hartley and look past, see Hebe kind of tucked in there. So we'll want the next tree to be like right in here, but far enough out that it's not going to compete with the canopy of the redbud that's looking absolutely glorious still. So pretty. It is starting to lose its blooms though. So we'll enjoy it for a few more days or until we get a nice stiff windstorm. Okay, I'm just moving around so that I can show you different angles here. So here's the Versailles garden, and if we swing around, sorry, I'll go slow so I don't make any of you sick. Look at that. It's so pretty. And let's go this direction. It's just so nice that there's something tall back there and big. See, the whole area around the Hartley has been graded and leveled. Minus this is the one thing we kept, the Avatar Blue Spruce. Look at that. Now the canopy, so the trunk is straight. The canopy lends this way, and that could be because, a couple of the branches had to come off the backside where the truck was, but everything will right itself over time. Oh, it's so beautiful. And I love it in relation to the chicken coop as well. I think it looks really good right there. Everyone was really careful with my pallet walkway. Of all things, I told everyone, you can just pull it up. I'll just build a new one. It's cheap, but here it is. It still exists, and they just basically leveled and graded from that point forward. We still have things that we have to pick up. They actually just finished and loaded up the skid steer earlier today. So here's the trunk. Look at this thing. Like this trunk, I think, what did he say, 15-inch?
Yeah, 15-inch caliper.
Yeah. Aaron, can you explain the staking system? Because I'm not sure that I actually saw that really close up.
Well, he said to keep it on for about a year. The way that they anchor it is it's kind of like a molly anchor, where they drive it into the ground about 3 or 4 feet or so with a rod. So they pound it in, then they just pull the rod up, but the anchor is still in there. And as you pull on it, it kind of flips, and then there's a bunch of surface area pulling against the soil, so it can't go anywhere. He was like, they'll never come out. The only way you could get them out is if you dug down 3 feet and actually pulled them out.
Russell, hey, go do that to a different tree that's not tender. Bud.
So he was saying after they've been on for a year or two and you feel comfortable with, the tree being here, I feel like for us, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, maybe with this one.
He goes, you can get some bolt cutters and just cut it and then just leave the rest of it into the ground because you really don't want to be digging down.
Right. Because the roots hopefully will be around it at that point.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because these are out quite a ways. I feel very confident with the way this is anchored into the ground.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
No. Well, and you can see as we get closer up to the trunk, it's just like, this is drip tube. This is Centennial 1/2-inch drip tube.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this isn't even like a soft rubber. It's just a plastic, our drip tube plastic with ropes around it right there. Look at that tree. That is like majestic. This is a majestic tree. I love it. And the fun part about this one too, not only, the size being so amazing, but it will provide bright red color in the fall, which I'm really looking forward to. And it shouldn't produce the little helicopters. He said this one never has in his yard. So we shouldn't have that to deal with. I also have an avalanche birch near it, which is bright yellow in the fall. So that will be beautiful. And then we have an October glory maple very nearby as well. So we'll have yellow color with the redbud, red with this one, yellow with the golden rain tree, yellow with the birch. And then we have the October Glory, which is a lot of orange. Mostly orange, a little bit of red, which is beautiful. Okay, we're gonna go to the next tree. And here it is, right there. That is a Norway spruce. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh. So these right here, they can grow upwards of 60 feet tall, 25-foot spread, which honestly, 25-foot spread we can handle. If it got 60 feet tall, I would love it. It would be so amazing. I'm going to go out here so I can show you the view from the driveway. Aaron wanted me to be sure to show you the boxwoods. they're still here.
They need to come out. They need to come out so bad.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that these need to come out right here. Those look pretty bad. Like this run. Maybe some of those. I don't know. Okay. Let me run down this way. Oh. Okay, well, this is a pretty view. Hawthorn, royalty crabapple, lilac, leyland cypress, willow. Got a lot of beautiful things right now. Okay, so we're looking down from the driveway point of view here. Now we did position it over this way because we kind of anticipated that these will come out, and we're going to create a new entrance. We're going to keep the arbor, so no worries there. It just might, I don't even know that we'll move it necessarily, but anyway, around it will probably change a little bit, but we wanted to start making a really thick, nice border. So that was what we started with. We felt like that was a really good centerpiece plant. And honestly, I actually stood in the house while Aaron stood out here, and then we switched spots and we both kind of just walked around while the other one looked from different windows in the house to decide the best placement for this tree, because it's likely that we're not going to probably add more big trees anytime soon. So we wanted to get the placement just right. So anyway, we like it. It really provides a really beautiful backdrop to the garden from the windows that we're at the most inside the house. And as we go in here, you can see that the gravel has been, for the most part, scraped up. We're going to need to bring in some big time compost to work into the soil. And we do need to still do a little bit of cleanup on the bottom of the spruce, which this happens when, you know, they're, because they have to get the tree to within 8 feet wide to be road legal. So of course the wider branches kind of suffer a little bit more at the bottom, which is not a big deal. I just love the structure of these so much. These just scream Christmas lights.
Well, yeah, I think we should do the old school, like, big bulb lights on
yes.
this one, like the Charlie Brown lights.
Yes. So much yes. Okay, I just wanted to give you kind of a view around the back side of it, because remember we used to have gravel all the way up to here. This is actually one of the guys' trucks that just came and picked up the skid steer, so I imagine that'll be gone within the next couple of hours or so. But you can see right beneath it, all the gravel there is gone. We've also been working pretty hard back here. This is kind of a side note, but I'll show real quick what's been going on. We're gonna probably, we'll save some of these things exactly where they're at, but we might shift some things around. But Paul has actually been working on this back here. So this is all compost where we planted all these trees, and it's all on top of cardboard. So we didn't remove any of the grass. What I did is I came along with a paint gun and just painted out a rough line of where the flower beds could be. And then Paul's coming along and he's just cutting or laying the cardboard to match that line. And we're saving all the perennials and stuff along the back. We're just keeping everything where it is. And then he comes in with a thick layer of compost over the top of all of it. It's looking so good. But boy, it's opened up now that the white fence is gone right here. We do plan on giving you a full garden tour here very soon, so I'll go into more detail about some of this, but let's head up to the third tree. Do you see it? Blue spruce, to replace the one that fell over. And it is so beautiful. You know, I didn't even realize how much I missed it until this one was here. Oh, I just love it so much.
This is such a nice tree.
It is. And I was just saying how I didn't realize, like, when you lose something big like that in the garden, you kind of don't want to, you can't cry over spilled milk, right?
Right.
So you just kind of move on. And I was like, well, I kind of like the open view.
Yeah.
Until
Trying
you
to make the best of it.
Right, until you put it back and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, yep, nope, this is better.
Right.
So much better. But you can see on this one, some pruning went on down on the lower level because the machine kind of does rough up the bottom a tad. But oh, it is so gorgeous. Now this is just a straight up Colorado blue spruce. This one will get quite large. Like they can get 30 feet wide, maybe even wider in some cases, which I would welcome. I mean, we could just limit up over the garden that's here. The other one was planted in roughly the same spot.
I want to say it was just a hair closer.
To you?
Yeah, like somewhere in this area. It's kind of hard to remember, but
it is,
I think it was
you're
a
right.
little bit closer.
Yeah, I think you're right. But oh, I just love that it provides a little bit of privacy because, our house is right here. And as you're driving up the lane, you just had a clear shot right to the house and to the Hartley back there. And now your view is just stopped a little bit. And it's not that I necessarily want to block the view, but I do like every garden having its own room, like its own space, so that it's not just one big giant space, that there's a little bit of mystery. I mean, the garden I grew up in, my parents' garden, if you've seen one of those tours. We've done a few tours there. It's all terraced. Every little space is like a cozy little room. And of course their garden is 30 plus years old. There's a lot of big mature things, which I'm hoping one day we have that kind of feel where we're planting lots of trees and things. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, other than the fact that I like the tree there and it makes it feel like it's more of a room inside instead of just open for all to see. Grass is looking good, Aaron.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Okay, so as we approach, it just kind of blocks off the front part of that garden. I mean, you can still see the heartleaf shining like a beacon back there, but this tree just provides so much weight and so much interest, and it's going to be so pretty in the wintertime. And for scale, are you standing there for scale?
Yeah,
Oh, maybe 4 of you, sure. So 25 feet ish, roughly. Amazing. And right next to it, we've got a June snow dogwood, the locust trees, the one that Aaron cabled together, that's the second one in, is doing great. This one's doing well too. We've got a very old mulberry right behind me. Go this way, there's a birch and ash. Just need to do a tree tour around here one of these days. As far as it goes for the moving process on something like this, now I don't know if it is true for every single variety that they grow, but I showed you when we were there at Malad Tree Farm that they go in the spring and root prune a lot of things, and they go out like 4 feet from the trunk and they just kind of cut in a circle, and what that does is kind of stunts the tree a little bit, keeps it in check, and then also makes it a little bit more move ready should that tree sell and they need to move it. And then when a tree sells, so like when we were out there and we picked out the 3 that are now in our garden, he said he was going to go back out that very day and prune them again. And then he lets them sit for a little bit. Like he started to install the trees the following week. So they were then pruned again. And then the day before, like this is the first one that came, they came out with their truck and they dug the hole. So that was all they did on that day. They came, dug the hole. They actually had to call dig line prior to that. And they also kind of sized up the other 2 areas where we wanted the other trees. Then they went back, they prepped this tree, which he said it took about 5 hours, 3 guys, to get everything tied up because they hand tie all the branches. And then they go out in the morning, the next morning, dig it, bring it right over here, and then they plop it down in the hole. And they're all out there with shovels around it because, you know, while the digger digs the exact same thing, you know, the hole's the same size as the root ball that then comes to fill it, there's still loose soil around it. They pack it in really well, they water it in, they add a bunch of like liquid mycorrhizae, and he does a drench with that, and then he deep waters it. Then they do all the cabling, all the staking. It's really quite an amazing process. So when they were done planting this one, they went and dug the hole that day for the next one, which was the Norway spruce. And then they went out, prepped that tree, and brought that one the next day. So, I mean, it was quite a bit of driving for them because they were coming from, you know, 45 minutes away. Anyway, it was just quite a fascinating thing to see done, and something I never even knew was possible, really. He did say the maple tree was probably one of the hardest ones he's ever had to move, and he was saying that we should probably be extra diligent with our deep watering and our root stimulator. So we're going to be as diligent as we can be, and we'll be able to show you through tours how things are going this summer. I mean, it's pretty harsh here, but he's done this for 35 years and he's pretty confident in the whole process, so that always makes you feel good too. I mean, especially when you're putting something so large in your space. But I'm looking around here like, I can't even believe that. It looks like that's just here, like it's been here forever. Also, right after they installed this blue spruce, how high of winds did we get that night? The gusts.
Well, was that the same one that knocked down the
trees in the cemetery?
Trees in the cemetery.
Yeah.
So it was enough to knock down trees in town.
Like big ones.
I don't know what. Yeah, they were old, I'm sure, but I don't know, like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts?
Yeah.
Somewhere around in there?
I lost sleep that night. But the tree looked exactly the same in the morning. So staking worked, the tree seems happy where it's at.
I'm pretty confident after watching how those cam locks go in, like I'm pretty confident these trees aren't going anywhere.
So anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. We just wanted to show you what we were able to capture of the process and then show you where they ended up in the garden, and just kind of talk about it because it's such an exciting thing. If you guys have questions, please leave them in the comment section below and we will do our best to answer them in the recap video. And the recap videos for the next little while, you know, we put out, it's kind of like a question and answer video. We put those out once a week on Sundays on our Garden Answer Highlights channel. It'll be a little hit and miss probably for the next month or so because because we've had such a weird spring and so much rain that a lot of our projects have been pushed out, and we're going to have to squeeze a lot into a shorter time frame. So it's likely our recaps may not come out on the same day, or maybe at all some of the weeks. So anyway, we'll do our best to answer questions. We have a really nice relationship with the owner of Malad Tree Farm, so we can ask him questions anytime, and he's very good about answering and kind of explaining everything. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This is just such an exciting day, such an exciting thing for our garden, and it's huge. I mean, yeah, we just, right here, I don't know how many years of growth right here that just went into the garden, but a tremendous amount, and it changes the landscape. So I couldn't be more thrilled, and I know Aaron is super duper excited because trees are his thing. Trees and the grass, they are kind of two of his passions, so it's really fun to see him during this whole process and watch him with the guys. And anyway, yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.